So today we're going to be mining blocks, but today it should be hopefully faster because I made the necessary changes so that instead of using SQLite, it's using Postgres. So I tested out a couple different ways of connecting to Postgres. I have a faster desktop computer, and I tried going over the network, and that actually was slower than I expected, but I found a reasonable compromise. So I have a local, on this older slow laptop, I have a local Postgres set up with the single player client. So today's experiment will be basically do what I always do, mine some blocks. And in the past live streams, after about an hour or so, it seems to really slow down a lot to the point where it's like unusable. So today we'll find out if there's any improvement in switching to Postgres. And in my preliminary testing, I think it is better. So that's not ideal for an actual like just distributed client. I suppose I can just let it default to using Postgres and then, to SQLite for portability and ease of use. But if your computer is slow, then you can switch to Postgres. All right, I got one viewer. So in terms of updates since last live stream, published a video today that's doing pretty good. It's it's a number one in the ranking. I think it's got like 4,000 views already. There's a bunch of motorcycles racing outside. I don't know if you can hear that. I think this does feel quite a bit more responsive than usual. That's nice. It's great when your game doesn't lag so bad that it's unplayable. Just checking to see if the fan is on this computer. The fan almost never turns on for this one. Quick, do an infomercial. Do you mean like an advertisement for the block mining game? So this is my block mining game. I'm raising. It's a terminal-based block mining simulation game, and right now I'm doing some play testing to hopefully improve the performance of it. This is an older, slow laptop, so I previously was the default is to use SQLite, but I have it hooked up to Postgres right now just to kind of test to see if I still have scalability problems after I play for about an hour. So we'll have to run around a lot and generate lots of map, because the more map I generate, the more it's going to fill up the database. Yeah, the supporting other databases it's always been, I had that working, but I didn't have an easy way to like specify that in the fly, because I had this argument parsing code for parsing command line arguments that was just not very robust. So I figured, might as well invest the time in actually making a good argument parser, because I also need that to have a flag to disable JNI, because that may become a problem in some cases. Yeah, this definitely seems a lot faster. Now see what happens if I just hold down M. That was always a problem in the past. So still allowing me to dupe, but will it catch up? All right, let's go try to mine this. So once that block disappears, so I pressed M, and we'll see how long it lags for. Nope, still going. What record are we trying to beat? I don't know. I guess unspecified record. I guess beat our the previous record of going very slow with SQLite. out of iron oxide. All right, let's try to go back to the origin and see how bad that is. Yeah, there's a lot more. I think I'll definitely have to just stick to Postgres for these live streams. Next time, maybe, I don't know, I might test it on the other computer that I have here. Would I consider adding explosives in the game? Yeah, I think ideally I would add everything to the game. I guess the main issue is it's easy to imagine stuff, but then it takes time to implement. I would say the like the pathway, like before I add a whole bunch of game mechanics, I want to get the kind of more boring stuff. The thing is, like, technically, like, adding like a game mechanic like that is easy, but if I add it now, there's so many other like playability problems with the game that you know, people will get a bad first impression. I kind of want people to see it as like it's a strange and terrible game, because that way only people who really like the command line will get into it, and I can you know, start with a base of people who really like it, like the idea for what it is, and then like I could do once I have more systems built up that just work, like the, you know, rendering system on the screen and stuff. I think like having a new version of the game with like 20 new crafting recipes or something, that would start to make it like, wow, this is actually interesting. But right now I'm just marketing the help menu edition, which is like a, you know, marginal obvious improvement. Like it's something I can show people understand what that is. But in reality, for this iteration, I'm going to improve a lot of other stuff under the hood. Like I'll try to implement the beginnings of like a windowing system or something, so that I can actually display other kinds of information on the screen. How do I play this game situation? Yeah, I mean, just like answering that question, like having something so that when the game starts up, there's like actually a help menu that explains what's going on. And to do that, like there's very little like responsiveness in the screen, right now. Like I think if you make the screen too small, if you make the terminal too small, that it just like and you try to launch it, it'll just have like a like an index out of bounds error or something, because it expects like the width of the frame on the bottom is a fixed width, and you can't resize that at all. And also, if I add more items to the game, like right now, to calculate the position of the items down here, it's just like it's doing like modulo something, and then just writing. It takes the index of the thing in your inventory, and then just says mod whatever, and to figure out where it should be on the screen. So right now, if I have more items, what it'll do is it'll just put them. They'll fall off the end of the screen, and so that this that kind of thing, to support more items in general, that would need a more strong system. I think I could add like maybe 3 or 4 or something. I don't know. I think this is right there. That's about. Yeah, I think actually I could add 6. I think. Well, if they had short names, because there's. If they have short names and they show up over here, then it would work. But. Yeah, it would have to have some pagination or scrolling. It's gonna need some kind of more robust system of some kind, which right now does not exist in the game at all. And something that would be like for example, right now, for crafting, you just press the C key, and there's 2 crafting recipes, so it just checks: do you have the reagents for the first recipe? If so, to craft that. And then if you don't, then check the next recipe. But ideally, like if you have more than 2 recipes, you want to be able to do things like select items and move items, or like interact with the item in some way. But right now, there's no way to do that. So that's a whole thing that would need to be implemented. Open a crafting menu, drop items in, then get output. Yeah, there's some kind of a mechanism for it. Right now, there's just kind of no. Like right now, anytime I do input, it all goes to like the one, I guess, main process. And ideally, there would be a way to like, I'd have some kind of concept of like focus on a given window. It's all doable, but it takes time. You have to make a UI library. I have some ideas for like how to achieve what I want that I think can be. I guess some could argue that it's basically building a library, but I'm not gonna like. I would not really I don't really want to get into building libraries for the terminal, but I think it's possible to build that kind of a system without too much code. Just had an interesting situation with my landlords earlier. They claim roaches are water bugs and rats are small mice. Refuse to help at all. That's weird. Are you in Canada? California. Yeah, that's also a place with a terrible housing situation. Hey, last says, hey, congrats on your Core Utils video. Wish I had content like that when I was learning. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah, that video is doing pretty well. I think it's got like at least 4,000 views now. It's nice to have a long form video that's doing well. I haven't had a long form video that's done well in a while. I guess I haven't made many in the last little while, but I'm starting to get caught up, and I'm done. I'm glad to be done Core Utils. That was so much. You know, it was like about, I don't know, 70 or 80 commands into it, and I was like, you know what, I should just finish up Core Utils, and then because then I can do like a wrap up bit of content, and you know, glad I did. It's behind me now, and I'll probably slow down with the favorite Linux commands. Well, I'm trying to stick to a schedule of one per month now. Concurrent viewers is 3. I guess the title of the video, the title of this stream is probably not the greatest. People probably come in actually expecting like a world record attempt and then bounce. Oh, I'll keep it for this one. Gather data on what works best. You know what? I just had a random idea. Let's change things up a bit. Let's just do some ridiculous stuff for fun. let's make the area that you mine with the pick Yeah, I'm gonna need to think about a more efficient way to do that. What is the fastest way that I could do this? Two for loops. I'm not sure what I haven't committed to deciding on what I want to do exactly. something that might do what I want. Doesn't make sense. Now this should change nothing. Or actually, I guess does change it because it mines around in a different direction, but okay, it looks like that didn't break anything. Let's now try. Let's do 10. No, let's do 5. No, 4. Only just realized there's a Z. Oh yeah. Yeah, you gotta have a Z. Technically there's even more dimensions that I added, but I don't know, I'll use those for something else in the future. In the database I have there's 5 coordinate pairs. Okay, let's launch the SQLite version, or the Postgres database version. Okay, so we got some mining picks. So now let's check how is the moment of truth. Does my change work? M. There we go. It just mined a whole bunch of blocks. yeah, I think I think this could be a. Actually, it seems that lags quite a bit. Yeah, that's quite laggy. I'll play around with this for a bit, see if this is a better game mechanic. I guess actually the lag almost makes it feel more realistic. Just joined. What is this? This is a terminal-based block mining simulation game. It's a game idea that I'm working on where you spam the you simulate the process of mining blocks by spamming the M key, and it runs in the Linux terminal. And it runs in an infinite procedurally generated universe. Oh, I ran into iron oxide. Let me think about something for a second. So it goes through guess this could be, this doesn't need to happen every time. On player. Inventory change. Maybe that should not be there. So I think what that'll do, I think it's going to send back, it's going to basically, it's writing back to the database every single time for every single block. Oh, you know what? I have this here. Do I need that twice? Maybe I should just delete this. This is Java. No wonder you don't have a real job. What does that mean? Java is one of the main languages that companies hire for. Yeah, this whole, I could make this whole thing more efficient. This is all just code that I wrote as like as fast as possible to get a basic demo out, and I forgot how inefficient it was. I know, but it's so gross. I mean, it's verbose, but the thing is, you get something for all that verboseness. I think that's not necessary. The other thing I should really be doing is this here. Right now it's this here is doing a write to the database every single time. It should do just one transaction. Just watch the commands tier list. Excellent work. Yeah, I figured it was. I'm kind of dying to move on to other things. I'm like that video. The video was 27 minutes long, so I'd imagine like some people probably watch that and they're like, "Wow, this just keeps going and going." But for me to actually produce that is so time consuming. But I feel like since I've been focusing on core utils so much for so long, it's in my brain. I might as well just make that video, and then in probably 6 months, if I go back and watch that video, I'll be like, wow, I actually learned something. Yeah, this whole thing could be faster if this was if it just batched this. I'm gonna make a note to make that as an improvement in the future. On player inventory change. What does that do? I forget. I guess that might just be a UI thing. could just... This code is awful. The pinky finger thing sounds interesting. Might have to do some research and learn what that was. Yeah, the shorts video I have on it is, I think, worth watching. It's just an interesting piece of history. Like if you read the man page on Pinky, it just says a lightweight finger. I think that's exactly what it says. It says like a lightweight finger, and instead of saying like a lightweight version of finger or a lightweight version of the finger command, so it's like almost so cryptic. And then if you actually have the time to Google this, you find out there's all this like little interesting bits of history out there. By itself, it's not really that useful, but I think it, like the core utils commands are like there's actually use to them. Like you can, get a job and make money with them, but mixing in the kind of bits of history, I think really there's at least among tech professionals, there's a lot of interest in knowing what the history of all that stuff. But so many people are just busy trying to get stuff to work. Nobody has time to like Google all this stuff and go read manuals that are not like in PDFs and stuff that are not properly scanned in. Okay, I don't know what I just changed. Let me change that back. Oh yeah, I guess I have to make sure that the blocks are mineable before I write. And I guess I'll change this later. Actually, maybe I will. That lag is killing me. Okay, this might do what I want and be faster. It's not the greatest, but it'll work for today. I've been busy been learning a lot about CS history lately. Recently found a bunch of videos about 70s, 80s era card readers and line printers and such. Wild stuff. The electrochemical era of computers seems like such a romantic era. Yeah, there's it's kind of funny how like such simple things of the mainframe era have become kind of iconic, and the people were not aware at the time of how significant they would be. And I mean, we're still dealing with some of the effects of that stuff. Like in my core utils video, I mentioned the NL command. If you actually try and like sit down and learn it a bunch, it really seems like it was intended for punch cards, and there's all kinds of other. Fortran and COBOL were originally developed for punch cards. The code was written on punch cards, so there's still all kinds of like weird. It's a column-aware programming language. Like in Python, a piece of code works the same way regardless of what column you write it on. But in those languages, it's a new thing to think about, which is like strange and confusing. Oh, look at that! There's a bug. Interesting. Must not be centered. Okay. Actually, I noticed it mines this block, so it's supposed to do like a square, but then it's mining that. That's not right. That's a knot. Why did that work at all? Is that why it was broken? What's going on? maybe this function is broken. It's always been that way. Okay, let's just see how this works. How are blocks represented in data? So the general model that I want for the game is blocks are, so the entire universe is a matrix of blocks. So for this thing, you could think like 2D space or 3D space, and the individual blocks are literally any sequence of bytes. So between 0 and infinity bytes. And so I have my vision is to have a block manifest file for every version. And one of the things I need to add is so when you read in, when the client reads a part of the map that maybe has blocks in it that it doesn't understand, it'll just like I'll get it to put like a little like crossed out thing, or like a no entry sign or so, like something, just know that it's like an error. So the idea is to be able to have a shared universe. Oh, look at that. That's totally broken. Yeah, so there's a JSON file with a block manifest, and that describes the actual bit pattern. And for the current version, I have the blocks are literally just the data. So I have the UTF-8 encoding of the rock emoji. That's what's in the database right now. I'm going to change that in the near future, and try to standardize what the blocks, the actual data representation, and then if the idea is eventually to make it easy to separate the representation internally of the block from how it's displayed, so that you could theoretically reskin them or something. So you could have one client that's on the terminal, and then another client that connects, for example, in a web browser or something, or even have a 3D client where you move around. Actually, let me see what this does in the other client, or with where I have a mining pick. Why did that get so? Oh, I think I messed something up with the UI. Oh, there we go. Okay, I don't know what the bug was, but anyway. All right, and now it's actually faster, because it's not sending back what is that for? See how many blocks is that wide? That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 by 49. Instead of sending back 49 transactions, now it sends 1, and that's faster. I kind of like this progression. This you know, I could almost envision like some ways to make this like actually more seriously about mining, and like actually go through some of the process for like set, you know, you can build some like charges and stuff, and you know, set things down. Like if you're actually mining in here, you'd like come up to here and you'd like put a charge in there, you know, like put something down and then move away, and then, you know, blow it up, and then come in and like you'd be scooping up a different type of material. Hype it. Tell folks it use the blockchain. Yeah, it's I mean, if it uses blocks, it must use a blockchain. Automated boring machines. Yeah, I mean, so many possibilities. Underground railway systems. So many cool things you could do. But I'm gonna hold my horses. It's gotta be more efficient, easier to use. It doesn't even have a help menu now. And with this new mining speed, I can make so many more mining picks. Just bought a sketchy Android auto radio for my car. I'm wondering if it will collect data on me or not. Yeah, you never know these days. I mean, it's crazy, like the kinds of it's like a rational thought to ask, like, is everything spying on you and listening to you and stuff? Like in, 20 years ago, that'd be like only crazy people would think that. Yeah, I know there was some like news story I saw with some woman who she got in a car crash or something like that, and then she filed a claim, and her insurance company was like, your claim is denied because we have all this information about like where you were going and stuff. And she was like completely like totally surprised and horrified with this, and they're like, oh yeah, we track everything and stuff, because I guess the insurance company was like, to them it's so normalized to just spy on everyone all the time, but people don't even know that this is a thing. They denied her claim because the data we harvested without your knowledge let us know that you drive your car a little rough. Yeah, I don't remember the exact story, but it was they just found something in the data about her use of the car. I mean, it makes sense that they would want to collect all that because it's so it's valuable information. Some Toyota vehicles have a defect where they just randomly get a hole in the fuel. I gotta make that bigger. Fuel rail and catch on fire, burn the whole car down. That's not a very good feature. And now they're denying warranty claims. If you ever took your car over 85 miles per hour, even though they give you a free track day, the purchase of your vehicle, basically implying you should do so. Yeah, I mean, companies are there's like a massive decrease in the amount of like ethics of companies, but also like enforcement of law. Like we're kind of just giving up now and we're letting companies just rob people. I mean, stuff like what you're seeing with Intel, where they're not making people whole who bought an Intel CPU, and like it's basically just garbage. So much time wasted trying to debug their faulty CPUs. I mean, like historically, that's always it's been such a major deal. If they have like the last CPU bug that they had, but now it's almost just like, you know, they're too casual about it and they just take it in stride. Consumer antitrust, baby. Yeah, I think it's things are going to have to. There's going to like the. I know it's more profitable, you know, for capitalism to just rip people off and stuff like that, but it's really starting to like really affect people's lives and the economy. And I mean, with this whole the rent eviction situation that's going on here in Canada, like it's affecting the GDP of people who live in this building. Like it's enormously stressful, and you know, 100 people here who are less productive in every other aspect of their lives because they're trying to fight, you know, unlawful evictions. It's just so much effort to accomplish something that doesn't produce value for anyone. I think we're also coming off like during COVID, we let a lot of stuff slide, but then eventually, like society we're going to have to get back to doing things correctly. There's going to be a return to quality, but it's going to take a while. That's why Americans have the second amendment, I guess. I forget which one is the second. Oh, that's the right to bear arms. Yeah, I wasn't sure because it's whenever I hear the something amendment, I'm always like it's the right to bear arms or free speech, but I don't know. I know there's like how many, like it's like 20 amendments, and some of them are like the most obscure things. I think this is good. Maybe I'll add this. I'll make this like in some way a permanent addition to the game, so you can get like I'll just add like one more recipe so that I don't know. You make like a gold. I don't know what would be better than iron pickaxe. Steel pickaxe or something. Well, I think this was a database change is a success. I'm out at like 700 blocks mining stuff, and it seems reasonably actually playable out here. Constitution was put in the order it was for a reason. You mean the order of the amendments? I assume they numbered them as they went. Yeah, the U.S. system is WSP. What does that stand for? I don't think I've seen that abbreviation before. Short for what's up. I've never seen WSP used in that way before. Yeah, this is supposed to be a cave system. Right now I'm looking for some more iron ore. Some out of that. Yeah, I guess maybe it's a language is always evolving. There's so many new like memes, and especially with internet culture, like there's an entire generation that has new words for things, like the word mid, which is, I don't know, that's a Gen Z or Gen Alpha or something. For like, if something is like meh, you just say it's mid. I actually think and I don't think that's ever going to change. I think in a way, younger people are constantly inventing their own new language, just because it's like, it's a way of creating an in-group. It's like if you, just invent a secret language with your friends, and you can talk about stuff and adults won't know what you're talking about. So we have this never-ending conveyor belt of new terms to learn. Homie got yeeted on TikTok and turned it to Skibbity meme content. I'm familiar with Skibbity. That's where did I even find out about that? It might have been from it might have been a Mudahar video, I think. Some Ordinary Gamers. It might have been his video when he mentioned it. It was like, and then I went there and I was like, what is this? And I think it had either like a comparable amount or like more. It had view counts that were on par with like Taylor Swift's videos on like the entire channel, like billions and billions of views. So it's just like, I don't know, it's an amazing it's amazing that could get so much. I watch the content and like I don't like it, but I understand why that stuff would get so much but so many views. I googled WSP. They're into mining. I don't know. That makes me more confused. WSP as a mining term? I don't know. The Zoomer lexicon grows every day. iPad kids, basically. Yeah. That's, I mean, social media makes us insane. It'll be interesting to know where that ends up in the future. Like, what happens when, like, the U.S. presidential race involves, like, Skibbity toilet memes. Yeah, I mean, there's memes are so effective, but of course they have to, like, presidential candidates have to actually lean into it. I think in a lot of cases, like, most of those people don't have time to figure that stuff out and like be terminally online, so I think they just like subcontract it to someone else. They hire some like Zoomer person, and then they're like, all right, make whatever memes you want, post them. Trump is hanging out with live streamers, basically doing a meme review. Yeah, I saw he was hanging out with like XQC and a bunch of people. That's random, but I mean, like this, you got to cover all the demographics. I can't find any ores. Sponsored spot for energy drink. I mean, in this stream, right now I'm just drinking Pepsi and I got some tea. I guess I would drink energy drinks to make me more energetic, but it's, I don't know, keeps me up late, and I don't really think I should drink that many of them. I'm gonna lay off them for a little bit. I think a pop, just having a small pop, has enough sugar in it to perk me up a bit. I am kind of exhausted today. Got done a bunch of stuff and went for a run. Anything that your imagination can think of. Optional game audio could be drill music. Yeah, you know, I could. I do have some. I wrote some simple things for like terminal base, or like composing music in the terminal from like shell commands. I could add some of that in. It sounds pretty terrible. I'm a web dev and never tried game dev. Interesting to see. Yeah, I would not really even say that I'm a game developer. I've always, most of the stuff I've done has been like more like academic and industrial. But I decided to like the good quality consulting work that I thought existed doesn't really exist. So I've decided to just do something that's a bit different to make this, you know, terminal based block mining game. Mainly as like I think YouTube is a good way to reach people. There's some ad revenue, but then I think there has to be something else. So, and I think this will be the something else. And I think it's also it's a good substrate for teaching in general. This man is single-handedly going to put Minecraft, Mojang, Microsoft to the business. Yeah, that's a long-term game plan. We're going to have a monopoly on block mining. And also you can't forget the game that inspired Minecraft, Infiniminer. And I guess I think Notch said that Minecraft was a clone of Dwarf Fortress. I think he said that. Which I think someone asked if this was Dwarf Fortress or something. But this current look of the game is just a technical limitation. I have been programming since I was about 14, and how old am I now? Like 37, I think. So a little while. I came up to university when I was 21, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty new. I got bored one day, so I made my own router using IP tables and other tools. Yeah, that's something that I've been interested in getting a better command of. You can do, there's some interesting tricks, like you can use IP tables if you have, like let's say your internet goes down and you can tether on your phone. You could like connect to the Wi-Fi on your phone from your computer, but then also you could change your router settings to forward packets to like your computer, and then so you could basically tunnel your internet through your phone. And that's something I think I used that. I needed that on one occasion where I needed another computer, like a desktop, to basically get internet through my phone. And I mean, I think it's a really useful thing that I think should be like more widely documented and discussed as an option. But the instructions I found for it were like really like very, very difficult to follow and very haphazard, and there's some security risks with it. So I think the multi-mining, or the larger mining radius works good, but it's not quite, feels almost too powerful. I have like 800 mining picks. I have my DHCP server and my X1 server address as the default route. It's like, no, actually, default route is X254, which allows for offloading of the NAT table to the ISP router. Yeah, I wish I had a better command of that stuff. Although it's not often that I really need to mess with that. I know there's lots of security implications of it though too. It's like, I think it can be easy to, accidentally expose if you're doing if you're offloading the NAT table to the ISP router. Although I think ISPs are, like the modems and stuff that they give you are like a lot more locked down, and I think they basically require that you allow them to remotely administrate. At that point, if the internet goes down, the X.1 box can change its mind, change the route behind its own NAT implementation or another router. Oh, okay, so like you get like dynamic failover. Yeah, I've thought about like setting up all these fancy setups. For a lot of them, for a lot of the stuff I want to do, you need hardware to do it. Like setting up fancy Wi-Fi networks and super fast stuff. But it's all expensive. And unless I need it, it's just a fantasy. So I get to use the hardware acceleration of my ISP router, which needs to be there for auth, but also have failover and full control. Open port 80 instantly. Caught people accessing PHP myadmin. Yeah, the whole the internet is becoming more of a dangerous place. There's more and more pen testing of everything now. Maybe it just means people are trying to access it from like scanning attempts. Like when I look at logs, any kind of web logs, it's just people constantly hitting on WordPress, WP, my WP admin.php. That's like 90% of the requests. Love to expose port 22 with root password honeypot. See all the wonderful scripts people try to run. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff in if you actually like record. And like lately when I've checked weblogs, there's so many like fancy URL encoded things and like fancy SQL injections, and you could learn a lot by studying that stuff if you had the time for it. The XZ vulnerability was crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's impressive that they got that. They actually got that into the repo. But I mean, it's also a testament to the sad state of open source software. There was like one, he was like kind of harassing the admin, like being condescending and be like, no, this will never get added, and it's just some guy that like volunteers his time and was like focusing on, he had like health problems that were distracting him, and meanwhile it's like this pillar that's holding up so much infrastructure in the world. Backdoor wasn't even the source, it was in the test folder. Yeah, and yeah, it was committed like quite a while ago. It was like a year ago or something. And I think it was only what was it? It was basically like some component of it was hidden in it was in the build, like it was only in the build script. There's something in there's some other way of obfuscating it too, having it being like activated by the build script. And of course the makefile was just some like giant monstrosity. There were some like really sketchy things in the build script. There was like this, successive like 20 successive head and tail commands, which is that was pretty sketchy looking. I think if I saw that, I'd be like, this is pretty weird. A couple of years back, I accidentally added a vulnerability into a very popular Minecraft skin plugin. Could log IP address backend servers on a proxy. Yeah, it's easy to accidentally. I mean, security is hard. It's hard enough not to just add bugs, but unless you have like someone constantly pen testing and like scraping for stuff, it's hard to know. Back then, proxy MC servers had to have Mojang authentication disabled. If you discovered the IP, it was open, you could join. Yeah, Minecraft Minecraft is interesting because of like the Minecraft audience is extremely technical, which is I'm sure if you're into Minecraft and YouTube, you've probably seen FitMC's videos on 2B2T and all the crazy hacks that they do. Like the stuff on there, I would almost be I'd almost be kind of afraid to even try joining 2B2T because there's probably like, you know, a ton of people that are like super technical who like, you know, not only know Minecraft 0 days, but also like 0 days in, you know, authentication software and things that can actually root you by joining the server. Or 6 hours to queue. Have you played on 2B2T? I play on occasion. Is it like is it hard to play? I would imagine it's like very it's probably a lot of work. Like, you know, for a 6 hour queue, and then I imagine like if you log in as a new player, it's probably like unbelievably difficult to not die. I don't know if it'd be worth it. I use a software called Zenith Proxy to wait in queue for me. Hard to get it to spawn. Yeah, I imagine I saw a couple of FitMC's videos on trying to escape spawn. I would imagine too, like, to do anything interesting on the server or to like play with other players, you would need to become so invested in that game. It's probably like the learning curve would be so high. Like for the you know, culture of the game, and like I mentioned, there's a lot of people there who really know a lot about Minecraft internals. Well, this is, I think this is a successful test. So moving forward, I'll probably always do streams on, with the Postgres database because this is way faster. I'll probably conclude this as a successful stream. Server architecture uses FOLA, which can allow a ton more players if the admin would allow it. The grift of it is they want you to pay to skip the queue system. Yeah, actually, someone did a video like analyzing how much 2B2T would make, and I don't think it was FitMC. It was someone, but we could probably Google the video. But the conclusion they came to is they probably make a lot of money on the queue system. But maybe I'll have to add that to my game, so you can have a long queue system, and then you can pay money to skip it. My uncle helps make Postgres, huh? You can tell him thank you, because it's better than SQLite. I just demonstrated tonight that it's much faster than SQLite. Yeah, Postgres is my default database for everything now. Back in the day it was MySQL, but today I just throw Postgres at everything. And the open source solutions are just getting better and better, which is great. But I'll probably leave it there for tonight. I think this was a successful stream. So next, what's today? Tuesday? Yeah, I guess I'll try to do another stream on Saturday. And I'll think about adding a new game mechanic to spice up the game a bit, like a new pick level. So the iron pick and then I don't know, titanium pick or something. Don't paywall your live streams now. I have ads turned on. That's kind of a paywall. Anyway, have a good night, guys. See you next time.